When it comes to holistic development and boosting domestic capabilities, a robust logistical infrastructure is as important as boosting manufacturing potential. Over the last 6 years, there have been several policy decisions that have enabled initial recognition and subsequent development of India's inland waterways and ports, tapping into hitherto unrecognized facet of connectivity. Namaste and welcome to New India Junction. I'm Nivedita Tiwari, and following our exclusive report on the Indian road network, let us take waterways into our purview. Just as in the case of every overhaul, the first step to revamp national logistical system was identifying a starting point. In 2016, the Narendra Modi-led government introduced a pioneering measure to comprehensively recognize India's network of inland waterways. With the introduction of the National Waterways Act, over 100 river stretches, creeks and estuaries were added to India's System of National Waterways, NWs, which until that point comprised of just 5 stretches. Going one step further, these new waterways were then divided amongst 12 major ports across India, making them developmental hubs. With each port developing a system of 8 to 10 national waterways, the entire exercise would prove profitable for both international and domestic trade while simultaneously linking seaports with the mainland seamlessly. I'm sure you're familiar with the RORO or Roll-on Roll-off scheme of the Indian Railways. Especially useful in tricky road sections like the Western Ghats, the scheme allows vehicles to be quickly loaded onto open freight trains and transported safely to their destination. If the same logic can be applied to Indian waterways, some extremely dangerous mountain passes and river crossings can be effectively utilized. When operational, an interconnected system of waterways will drastically reduce the need for a tedious road journey, provide greener means to ship cargo with transport of essentials as an added bonus. These national waterways are also being established to boost tourist footfall and traffic through scenic cruises and seamless connectivity. That is just waterways. Let us now look at port-centric development. If we look at PM Modi's speech from the ramparts of the Red Fort on Independence Day, a special focus was laid on international trade and building last-mile connectivity with Indian ports. This holds true as over 90% of India's merchandise trade passes through ports, and even with constant upgrades, the turnaround time falls below a global average of 24 hours. The flagship Sagarmala project that got the approval of the Union Cabinet on March 25, 2015 has been the highlight of development of India's maritime potential. The National Perspective Plan, developed to upgrade India's 7,500 km coastline, actually also considers direct linkages with the 14,500 km of navigable waterways. Not just trade, these Indian ports will soon be advanced to handle the largest chunk of essential commodities like coal, petroleum, iron ore, etc., which as of now are majorly handled through the sprawling network of railways. The Sagarmala project currently serves as a canopy for numerous schemes and initiatives launched in coastal areas. Currently, there are 4 aspects for this drive which serve as the foundational pillars of the project. These include 236 for port modernization, 235 projects to increase port connectivity, 35 for port-led industrialization, and 68 projects for coastal community development. Out of these, 121 have been completed at the cost of Rs 302.28 billion, with an additional 235 projects under implementation at a cost of over Rs 3 trillion. Under the same project, the government is also aiming to develop 6 new ports to cater to the almost overflowing demand while simultaneously distributing immediate load across the country. Out of these, 2 have already been identified in Vadhavan, Maharashtra and Paradeep Outer Harbour, Odisha. The Vadhavan port, located near Mumbai's Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust, will propel India into the list of countries with the top 10 ports in the world as it will enable some of the biggest ships to dock here owing to the depth of the surrounding waters. In its latest avatar, the Sagarmala project is being seen as the Vision 2030 for maritime sector, or the Maritime India Vision 2030. Under the aegis of the newly renamed Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, another hint at Government of India's commitment to holistically develop maritime resources, the vision outlines a plan to set up pan-India regulatory bodies as well as develop localized systems of ports and waterways to promote shipped cargo within the country. Moreover, long-term assistance and stimuli would also increase cargo shipped internationally under the Indian tricolour. Another aspect that is all but earmarked for development is transshipment. Transshipment, or TS, simply put, is the process of offloading cargo from one ship and onto smaller ships before finally reaching its destination, and vice versa. As of now, almost 25% of Indian cargo is transshipped, with Colombo handling nearly 80% of the load. Interestingly, the international terminal at the Colombo port in Sri Lanka is actually handled by China, which means that there is a significant revenue loss which needs to be stemmed. Recently, while inaugurating the 2,300-kilometer long submarine optic fiber cable network linking Chennai and Port Blair, PM Modi had announced a tentative proposal of a full-fledged TS port at the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. If realized, the port will be able to save rupees 30 to 40 billion each year, add thousands of jobs, and most importantly, boost the idea of more inclusive Indo-Pacific, limiting any overbearing influences in the region. With the COVID-19 pandemic laying the foundations of a more inclusive and globalized economy, a focus on port-led development may be one of the key factors that links initiatives like the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan and the public-private partnership model with an increased Indian stake in the global value chains. However, such a massive undertaking is no easy feat. An out-of-the-box approach coupled with an unrelenting persistence may decisively shape a promising future for the Indian economy. Stay tuned for more developments and keep watching New India Junction for any new updates. Until next time, Namaste.